Welcome back. You have made it to Living Limitless, Play Your Way to Freedom. We are joining with you as you connect, play, and awaken your personal power, your freedom, and your expansiveness. I'm Andrea Luzon. I am so excited to have a deep dive discussion today with Beth Greer. Welcome, Beth. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Yes. And I want to tell our audience all about you. Beth Greer, the supernatural mom, is author of the bestseller Supernatural Home, an environmental toxins expert and educator, and award winning journalist. She eliminated a sizable tumor in her chest without drugs or surgery by detoxing her body at home. She is founder of the True Vitality Project, offering strategies, insights, techniques, and proven methods to radically transform your health and vitality. Her work is endorsed by Deepak Chopra and Dr. Joseph Mercola and has been named a top 50 health and environmental journalist to follow. To follow her work, go to bethgreer.com. Thank you again, Beth. I would love to hear in your own words a little bit about what you do day to day or what a little bit more about your work and especially what inspires you to stay in the work.
Okay, great. So, as you said, I'm an environmental toxins educator. So, I had my own story about how I was exposed to certain toxins. We all are. Our children are born pre polluted with all the toxic chemicals that we're exposed to on a daily basis from what goes in us, what we put on our skin, what we clean our homes with. And so, I wrote a book called Supernatural Home. And so, what I do on a daily basis is that I help people understand the toxins that impact them and then how to eliminate them. So, I've been doing in home visits until COVID hit, and now I'm doing virtual visits. And in the interim, I healed myself of this tumor. It's been about 19 years ago. Now what I've been looking ever since then, I've been sort of searching for non-toxic, non-invasive ways to heal, and I've discovered this amazing revolutionary new product that I've been sharing with people and just getting amazing results. So those are my two areas of focus.
Outstanding. And do you feel as though your path to this work, did you get hints throughout your life, like messages? Was it a natural evolution, or did you, like a lot of people in the transformation field, did you have a breakdown to break through?
So I think it was a little bit of both. I remember when I was running the Learning Annex, I had all these amazing teachers come through: Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, and I was reading all these books on healing. And if you looked at my bookshelf, all you saw was healing, 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 healing. And so those were kind of like the little whispers about healing. What I didn't realize that I was going to be involved with healing until I had my own healing crisis. So, I was running this multinational corporation back in the 90s, and I wasn't really in touch with the stress I was under. I had a small child. She was about 3 at the time. And we were in 6 cities, and it was just nonstop. I took 2 weeks off in December and would collapse. Basically, we'd go to Hawaii and just sleep the whole time. People would come visit us from New York because we moved from New York to California. And on the weekends, my husband and I, who ran the business together, would just sleep. And it was crazy. And anyway, I realized it wasn't a healthy lifestyle by any means to have that much stress and be so fatigued. So what happened was I developed a pain in my shoulder, my right shoulder, and I went to the chiropractor, and after 5 visits, it was getting worse, not better. And he said, I think you have a herniated disc. You should go get an MRI. I thought, how can I have a herniated disc? I didn't do anything, right? I didn't pull anything. But the MRI didn't show a herniated disc. It actually showed a mass in my chest. It was large. It was pressing on the nerves that ran down my arm, and my first 3 fingers were getting numb. So I thought, like, how could this happen to me? I really thought I was doing everything right. I watched my weight. I was eating healthy food, or so I thought. And I was exercising, and I even had a meditation practice in my office. Every day at 4, I'd bring in the troops and we'd meditate for 20 minutes. And I really just thought, this shouldn't be happening to me. So I went to see 3 top surgeons. Well, first I had a biopsy, and luckily it wasn't cancerous. It was a nerve root tumor. But the 3 surgeons all said, this has to come out immediately, or it can turn cancerous at any minute. That was the message I got. One wanted to cut me under my collarbone, and the second one said, no, we're going to go in under your armpit to access it. And then the third one said, no, I'm going to go and remove one of your ribs from the back, and then I'm going to put mesh in. And I remember the words like resounding in my ears. He goes, I'm going to heal you. And I just thought, this is like insane. I knew, first of all, and then I went to see a neurosurgeon, and he said, just avoid surgery as long as you can, because it's risky and you could lose feeling in your right hand permanently. So as kind of luck would have it, I had booked myself into a place called Optimal Health Institute down in San Diego, Lemon Grove down there, for just some R&R. And what I didn't realize was it was a place to detox and cleanse and relax. And I needed that. And so I noticed we're drinking wheatgrass juice and eating sprouts, and mostly drinking green drinks and having colonics and massage. And I noticed that in just 3 or 4 days that the pain that I was in started to diminish. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. I didn't need to take a sleeping pill at night to knock me out, because I couldn't find a comfortable place to sleep. Mm-hmm. And the fear was just, intense beforehand, but now I'm starting to relax. And so I spent a week there, and I said, I'm onto something here with this, this simplicity, because one of the things they had us do was meditate and talk to our disease, right? And so I asked my tumor, had a dialogue. Why are you here? What's your message? And the word that came to me was simplify. Mm-hmm. So I was simplifying my food. Next, what else can I simplify? And I remember I was putting on some lotion on my skin, and I happened to look at the label, and there was like a paragraph worth of ingredients on there. And my background as a journalist, I started researching like all these crazy, unpronounceable chemicals, and they're not healthy for us. Our skin is our largest organ, and it allows in microscopic chemicals. And so I was using a deodorant that I used since I'm 13, right? We think that just because it's on the store shelves and we grew up with it, that it's safe. But really, our personal care products have not been tested for safety by a third party. It's tested by their own industry that's what's happening. And so I switched out to all natural products, including baking soda as a deodorant, and it works perfectly. Then I was like, well, what else can I simplify? And I remember I was spraying down my countertops with Windex, and I looked at the back, and it says precautionary statement, hazardous to humans and domestic animals, right on the back. And I thought, well, this can't be good. Again, something I grew up with and my mother used, right? But what I remembered was, well, my grandmother used white vinegar, and hydrogen peroxide and baking soda. So I switched out to more traditional cleaning supplies, and I just started doing more and more research and cleansing, doing internal cleansing. And what happened was, in about 5-6 months, the pain was gone. And then I waited another few months and had the tumor scanned, and it had disappeared. So that was a huge wake-up call for me. Our bodies are self-healing if we just don't gunk it up with all the stuff that we're using on a daily basis, and just get back to nature as close as possible. So that was like this huge sort of epiphany for me. And I wound up writing. First, I wrote a local column, then in my local newspaper, And then I wrote a column for the San Francisco Chronicle called The Natural Home. And they started getting letters from, industry, like, who's Beth Greer? Why is she saying that there shouldn't be a mercury in the mascara? She doesn't know what she's talking about. It's safe, but it's not safe. So the Chronicle said, well, we can't run your articles anymore. We get too many letters. So I took my column and put it into a book proposal, and then I wrote a book, and this is it. It's called Supernatural Home, and improve your health, home, and planet one room at a time. So I'm really proud of it, and it's written in 3 sections: what goes in us. So I talk about food, water, and anything that's going into our bodies. And then I talk about what goes on us, what we're putting on our skin, our makeup, personal care products, and then what surrounds us. So the air inside our homes can be 10 to 100 times more toxic than the air outside, from all of the off gassing that's coming from our furniture and our mattress and the cleaning supplies. So, and also the electromagnetic fields. So that's how it transpired. And then I've taken the book and used those principles to help people. So people who come to me tend to be people with children who have issues, ADHD, or behavioral problems, or people who are really tired and fatigued and don't know why, or they have rashes. And the traditional or conventional, I should say, medicine is not helping them. They just put them on cortisone cream for their rash, for example, or they don't really know how to help them with their fatigue. And so I dig deep and find out what's going on, and look at their lifestyle and what they're using in their homes. And um, most often, people heal just like I did.
Right. Wow. I love how you paid attention to the signs. And it's so interesting that 4 surgeons, no, three,
Three.
it sounds like 3 surgeons told you, we're cutting you open, we're doing this. One person, so the fourth person said, maybe there's another way, but you still took it upon yourself to do the investigative work, take the leap, trust yourself. I'm just hearing a lot of bravery and resilience and strength.
Thank you. Yeah, it does take bravery and strength, because people said to me, well, weren't you scared? And why didn't you listen to the doctor?
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard about all the side effects from surgery, I I said, well, let me see if I can heal this. I don't have cancer, and I wanted to see if I could really become my own health advocate and do the healing on my own.
Mhm. Yes, and thank goodness you did, because now we get to glean all this wisdom from
Mhm.
you. And I understand that you could even take us deeper into the demonstration, that there's a photo that you'd like to share and just a little
Oh,
bit more about your healing process.
sure. So basically, after I healed from the tumor and I sort of regained my health, I've been on the lookout for what other healing modalities there are that is non-toxic, non-transdermal, non-invasive. And what happened was, when I was about 13 or 14, I got kicked in the leg playing soccer. Somebody who's wearing shoes, not sneakers, and it never really healed properly. It was always like kind of swollen, and I just sort of didn't, didn't pay attention to it much through my 20s and 30s. Then I hit my 40s. It started looking a little bit. I started getting some varicosity, so I'd go and get, saline injections in my legs. By the time I hit my 50s, it was looking not so great. And now that I'm in my 60s, my leg did look like the leg of like a 90-something-year-old. I'm going to show you a picture. And then I discovered that there's this new technology, this stem cell technology. It's in the form of a patch. It looks like this. And I didn't even put it on my leg. I put it on the back of my neck where they tell you to put it. And I was skeptical at first, because I thought, well, how can this little patch help my circulation? But it took about a month when I noticed a big change. And then I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you by month 3, it was really dramatic. Um, Here it is. So this is my leg on the the left one is just a small sample of what my ankle looked like. And then the one on the right is after 3 months of wearing this patch and doing nothing else, nothing different. It looks like a different leg. I mean, I've got my arch back, right? So yeah, and I had like varicose veins and they're receding, and it's just been
Mhm.
amazing. So this has been my focus now since this past May, to really help people with these patches.
Mhm. Wow. Thank you so much for giving us a real life example. And I think so earlier we had talked, you said it's called the X39 patch. Am I
Yeah,
saying it am I saying it right?
yeah, it's from
X39.
LifeWave, and it's called X39.
Yeah.
And there's only crystals in the back of this thing. There's a little,
Okay.
peel away thing, and there's um,
Mhm.
there's crystals in it that actually, we are light beings, right? We emit light, and subtly, of course, but there's Kirlian photography. You can read up about that. So the light in our body is refracted off of the crystals, and then in turn, a peptide is stimulated in our bodies called GHK copper peptide, and that in turn will stimulate collagen production, stem cell production. So stem cells are your body's first cells. In an embryo, they're stem cells, and then they go to different places where they're needed to make organs and skin and glands. So as we age, our stem cells reduce, and that's why when you're young, if you cut yourself or you break something, it heals really quickly. But as we get older, it starts to slow down.
Mhm.
So since now I'm in my 60s, I mean, there was a dramatic change in my leg, I noticed, within the past 10 years. So having more stem cells, it's like all of a sudden I've got youth, younger cells, and ability to heal quicker
Mhm.
and, yeah, deeper.
And you were saying you put it on the back of your neck and I see you have shoulder length hair. So it's even more surprising. Like, do you intentionally wear your hair up on those days?
Oh no, you don't have to wear your hair up. I mean, I can just show you.
No, you just put it right there.
Yeah, right back
Oh my
there.
goodness. Yep. And it's even
Yeah,
under your shirt. Most of the time, it's even
yeah,
under your shirt,
right.
but it's just
And
drawing in light and stimulating your stem cells.
right now, you don't have to wear it there. There's another place you can wear it below your navel. It's another place. So sometimes I alternate,
Mhm.
but these are two sort of powerful acupuncture points that, and that's why they recommend them. But you can basically wear them anywhere on the body. So
Mhm.
I have a friend who, she's a she has bone on bone knee pain. She's a physical therapist, and she decided to put the patch right on her knee on the point of pain. And she called me and she said, I put the patch on, and within 5 minutes, the pain went down 50%. I want more. So it was pretty impressive.
Wow.
And I have another friend who has MS, and she was limping, and her limp is gone now. She had neuropathy in her feet, and she can now feel her toes. So it's truly miraculous.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of blown away by this technology, and so
Yes.
I'm helping a lot of people, and their parents. Older people tend to benefit a lot, or people with chronic illness, skin conditions, that sort of thing.
Yes. Wow. This is so exciting. I hadn't heard of this before, so it feels very cutting edge to me. And
Oh, it
I,
is. Yeah. It's only been out for 13 months. So it is cutting edge. Yeah.
wow. Yeah. Wow. Wow. And as I'm hearing you talk about this and when you came across it, I'm hearing such a level of trust in you. And trust makes me think of when we're children, when we're really small and we're trusting, we're in our childlike nature. And the theme of this series is living limitless, play your way to freedom. So I would love to hear about how do you implement play in your life and work to step into your power, your freedom, and your expansiveness?
That's a great question. One of the things I do, well, first of all, I laugh a lot. I have a partner. We laugh a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's, really key. But one of the things that we do almost daily is we play ping pong, and it's just been fantastic. It's just been just a fantastic thing. So in the summer, I have it in my backyard, and now in the winter, it's in my garage. But it's it's just the most fun game, and we're just, I don't know, I just find ourselves laughing playing the game and getting these great shots. So I find that if I'm feeling sluggish or whatever, hey, let's play some ping pong, and then we're out there playing, and it's just fantastic. So that's my main mode of play. Before the pandemic hit, I used to go to comedy clubs at least once a week. I grew up with, funny parents and who appreciated comedy, and so try to watch things that are funny on TV and funny films. So that's another way. But I really think that laughter is such a good healing tool. I mean, they even have, I know, laughing yoga classes I've heard of.
Yes. I'd like to try one of those. That sounds awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. That actually feels practical, bringing in it's still athletic and it's moving your body, but then I can also see, I don't know, I'm just surprised that people can play ping pong at such professional levels because I'm just, I think I would probably miss like 4 out of 5 back and forth. I'm like,
You'd be amazed how quickly your body starts to go. Because I remember my daughter came to this, she's 23 now. And I said, let's play some ping pong. So first she like didn't get beyond 4. I was winning all these games. Then all of a sudden, she caught up really quickly. And then she's like, she hasn't beat me yet, but close.
that is outstanding. Yeah, practice. That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
So when I say the phrase living limitless, excuse me, when I say living limitless, what comes forward for you?
Like your background, that's what,
Thank you.
just yeah, the fact that I practice I have a gratitude journal and that I write in every morning, and I I feel that it's very expansive for me. And also I practice qigong, so almost daily on that. And so what that is, it's a movement practice that incorporates visualization. So I've been doing visualization since the 80s, with a woman named Shakti Gawain. I remember taking classes with her in New York. But it's just that feeling of not being limited by circumstances, and using your mind to really focus on what you want. And one of the words that I always sort of bring in on a daily basis is joy. I because we are meant to live in a state of joy. And I know sometimes it's hard right now with all the restrictions going on. So if I can feel joy in my body, um, peace in my body, then I know that, it expands me and it brings me to a higher vibration.
Hmm. Yeah. So you are utilizing tools and practices to kind of get your, I love how you mentioned my background. I do. I love the background. And it's very open. It's very spacious. It looks like it's getting deeper and more shallow at the same time, kind of 3D. So I'm hearing you say that being limitless, being in our limitlessness, it does involve practice. Would you
Mhm.
be open to sharing more of your practices? I heard you talking about journaling. When you journal, what kind of journaling do you do?
Yeah, it's a gratitude journal. So I have a meeting with my chief spiritual officer, I call it. It can be whatever name you choose, but I believe there's a universal, creative, universal mind that flows through everything, and that I'm part of that. And I express my gratitude to it by writing it down, what I'm grateful for every day. So even if it's the littlest stuff, like my dog is, healthy now, he's 14. I've been patching him. So, um, and to my relationship with my daughter, and, just on and on and on. And then I actually speak it out loud. So, because I believe our word is powerful. So I speak out loud what I'm grateful for.
Mhm.
And then before I go to bed at night, I will see if there's anyone that I need to forgive, including myself. And I'll just sort of say that out loud quietly. But I do that. And I read something inspirational. So even if it's just for 5-10 minutes in the morning to sort of get me in the mood for gratitude, I'll read something that I find is uplifting. Again, just for 5 minutes. I don't have a whole lot of time in the morning, so I don't want to spend an hour doing that, but it just feels like even if I can read a few paragraphs, that will set the tone for the day. Another thing I do is I really believe in the power of light and sunlight. And so I get out in the sun, especially first thing in the morning. I know some people wake up and like to watch the sunrise. I don't do that, but I do get out in the morning and without sunglasses and allow the sunlight into my eyes, because that will reset the melatonin for the evening when you go to sleep. And that's why they tell you, like when you fly to a different time zone, let's say like if you fly to Europe, it's a different time, get out and walk in the sunlight so that you can regulate you. So I really believe that, again, we're light beings and we get a nurturing from the sun, and we shouldn't be afraid of it. So I stopped wearing sunglasses basically. And in the summer, I try to get, at least 20 minutes of sun on my body without sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the practices. I walk. In the past, I was walking, wearing a headset, listening to podcasts, which I love, but now I'm trying to just listen to the birds singing and listen to the air going by, and the sounds of nature is very relaxing.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. It's like we all want to multitask, go on the
Yeah.
walk and listen to the inspiration at the same time, but maybe
Right,
do half and half and listen to nature as well.
exactly.
Do you live outside the city or in the city?
I do. I live outside the city. I lived in Manhattan for many years, and when I moved out to San Francisco, I didn't want to move to another city. So I'm about 11 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's just lovely here. I'm looking out my window right now, blue skies and birds and hummingbirds, and I saw a fox, not too long ago, and a coyote. So it's fantastic. It just and if you can get out and walk every day, that's so good. I remember I had a teacher named Angeles Arian, and she has passed away. But when I was working at the Learning Annex, she used to say, "Get out in nature an hour a day." And I thought, she's nuts. I can't do it. I'm working full time. Now I make sure that I'm out and just absorbing the nature, grounding in with nature, with the ground that we walk upon. Because so often we're either up in apartments or just caught up in the unnatural world. So if you can, stop and smell some flowers, or you put your feet on the grass if you can, barefoot, that's just awesome.
And I'm feeling like this is even more poignant for our viewer, our audience member, because you have walked on the side of the health showing up, as a call to action, as a request to do things differently. You've
Mhm.
walked that side of this. And so I am loving the practices that you are implementing in your life that are keeping you grounded and keeping you in a higher vibration than perhaps you were when these ailments were coming in.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's just invaluable. I try to get to the beach, even though it's not a beach, a hot, sandy beach. I mean, it is sandy, but I bundle up with a scarf and a hat. But it's just getting out and getting those negative ions, breathing those in. It's important to get out in nature and walk. So
I'm hearing that loud and clear. More time in nature. So one of my questions is, I'm hearing a strong story of resilience. Do you believe that creativity and resilience are intertwined?
yes, absolutely. Creativity. I mean, we are creative beings, and um, writing, drawing, dancing, um, cooking. I mean, I love to cook. That's one of the things that really helps relax me. And I think that that's a really a creative outlet for me. And I also love to garden. So I just bought some boxes for beehives, and this spring, going to get some bees in there in April. And so in the meantime, I'm going to start planting flowers for them to feed off of, the pollinators. So sometimes when I'm feeling frustrated, I'll just go out and pull weeds for half an hour, and then I just feel fantastic. So those are creative outlets for me. And
Mhm.
they're in, they spark my creativity, because when I come back, it's like, okay, now I can work. Now my mind is clear. Now I have space to deal with what's on my desk and that.
So I love the way I'm hearing you. Oops. I love the way that I'm hearing you link the two, that in your experience, you're finding when you give yourself time to honor your creativity, you recharge, and it like brings you into your resiliency
Uh-huh.
so that you can get back into the other work. I think that I'm here. Am I hearing that correctly?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly right.
that's outstanding.
It-
So you're utilizing your creativity to recharge your battery,
yes,
to remain in a resilient state of awareness and being.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think resiliency is a real key for health and well-being. That the ability to bounce back and not dwell in stuff
Mm,
that's gone on, and
yeah.
so that's I I don't know where a part of it's genetically inherited. I mean, my family from way back was very resilient. They left a horrible situation in Russia and in Poland, and so I have those genes of some strong people who left bad situations for a better life. And so
Yeah.
I feel like, I have that ability to see what's not working for me, for example, and then move to what is, and having the faith that everything's going to work out.
Mhm. See what's not working. I might quote you on that. See what's not working and move to what is. I love that. I find that very inspiring. Um, and so let's see. Even before you were mentioning the creativity leading to the resilience, I do sense a strong aspect of resilience in you, and then you were so creative. When you were continuously reaching out to get more opinions on what was going on with your health, and then coming in again in your resilient nature, I don't want to do it that way, and stepping strongly into being creative about finding a solution.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to keep your options open, and not jump in the first thing that, I mean, I think so many people just follow their doctor's orders because the doctor knows best, they say. In actuality, look, if you have an emergency situation, you break a bone, you want to go to a doctor and get it fixed. But if you have like something happening in your life that's ongoing or chronic or whatever, that most of the times the doctors know two things. They know to cut it out, or to drug you, give you medication. And I was shocked to learn that doctors in medical schools, in their medical textbooks, there are ads for drugs. There are ads and that's who is sponsoring the medical schools. I mean, the drug companies. And so it's just a lot. You look at all the advertisements on TV for drugs, and people are looking for the short answer. Just give me something that's going to take my pain away.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it's so much more worth it when you allow your body to do the healing.
Mhm. Yeah. Really tapping into that wisdom. And I would love for our audience members to get to experience your work on a personal level, on a deeper level than our interview today. I understand you have a perk or a gift that you would like to share with all of us, and please tell us how we can get it.
Sure. So I've written another book, but this is an ebook. and it's on activating your own stem cells for healing and vitality. So if you go to truevitalityproject.com, you can download a copy of that book. And on that page, it'll show you how the patches work, and it'll give you answer all of your questions.
Mhm.
And it's also an opportunity. What happened with me is that during COVID, my work has shifted. As I mentioned, I'm now doing online work, but I had a very thriving practice of going into people's homes and measuring their electromagnetic fields and remediating those, working one-on-one in person. Now people are a little squeamish about getting together in person. So when the patches came along, it's also a business. So I have a wonderful team of people, and so there's an opportunity to become a distributor as well. So, I mean, if you're looking for extra income and helping people along at the same time, this is like the perfect business. And the people who I've met in this company are just extraordinary. They're just the most generous, warm, and giving people.
Yeah.
So they're all committed to healing the planet.
So the ebook will give you, audience member, a deep dive look at the movement of light and the stimulation of your stem cells to bring about vitality. And you showed us photos of that and have multiple stories about that, Beth. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
I mean,
I, oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, just yesterday, I got a text from a woman. She said she's had psoriasis since she's in her early 20s, and now she's in her 60s. And she's tried everything. And she said after 3 months on this patches, it's completely gone. It's almost every couple of days I'm getting another amazing testimonial. So just wanted
That
to share that one because this is the most recent one that popped up on my screen the other day.
I I look forward to reading your ebook, and the link will be below to get access to that. Beth, there is a person watching right now whose life is going to transform beyond their imagination by them working with you. What would you like to say to that person?
That if you're suffering from fatigue or mysterious illness or ringing in your ears, for example, rashes, your children have behavioral issues, that I can give you another perspective on how to heal those conditions by looking at what's going on inside your home. So again, I'll do it with a camera. We'll go into your pantry and your refrigerator and look at all the foods that you're eating, and I'll explain to you how to read labels, for example, because there can be so deceiving. If you just see the word natural on a label, you think it's all natural, it's fine. So I will explain how all that works. And also I can show you how to measure and resolve your electromagnetic radiation. So sleeping with Wi-Fi on, for example, can be really detrimental. So yeah, I am happy to talk to you and give you a free 15-minute consult and just find out what's going on, and I can share with you ways that I can help.
Thank you, Beth. So I hope everyone takes advantage of learning more about these amazing opportunities in working with Beth and exploring her work. I want to say thank you to everyone who's here, who's listening, who's watching. This has been Living Limitless, Play Your Way to Freedom with Andrea Luzon. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, Beth, so much for being here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.